Hot Rod Madness, where we believe that every car has a story. Whether your car is a ground-pounding, tire-smoking street machine or a trophy-winning classic with blinding chrome and paint, Hot Rod Madness wants to hear your story. Who knows? Maybe your story will inspire future generations to dream, build, and own their own classic rides. Here to bring you those stories is the host of Hot Rod Madness, Tim the Milkman, along with the Hot Rod Madness crew.
Hey, welcome back to Hot Rod Madness. This week we're at Fuller Moto, and I'm sitting here with Bryan Fuller. Bryan, how are you, man?
I'm doing good. Thanks for coming by.
Great to see you again, man.
Yeah,
all right. Dude, today we're going to get a tour through this place, but first, I want to get a little history on Bryan here, man. How'd you get started, man? This is quite a unique shop you have here, and I know you've been at it for a while. But
we're showing my age for as much history as I have.
Dude, you're not that old, man.
I was in middle school, and my dad brought home an old '65 Mustang.
Okay.
And I was a kid who liked to take things apart and wasn't very good at putting them back together. He brought home a Mustang, and he said, you know what, we're going to burn the tires off.
Wow.
And when we're done burning the tires off, we're going to buy another set. We're going to burn those off. Okay. And I was very impressionable, and we did. We souped up the motor, did a paint job on it. We did the interior together, and it was a really cool father-son, kind of time. And eventually, it was kind of a midlife crisis deal for him, and he kind of moved back to hunting and fishing, which is where I grew up. Okay. And I was hooked. So I never really got out of it, other than a little stretch. But
wow, that did it, didn't it? Yeah. You had to take it from there, right?
Yeah, after high school, I went to college. I was going to be a doctor. I was going to be a chiropractor.
You gotta be kidding.
Yep. So I got a pre-med degree, got a biology, chemistry minor, and figured out that I really just was not headed to postgraduate school, and kind of was working on a 50 Plymouth chop top hot rod in my garage, and I was waiting tables. Wow. So I was basically waiting tables with a college degree and working on my hot rod during the day. And my mom was like, dude, we didn't get you a college degree for you to be playing around with your car and waiting tables. You need to get the hell out of here. So I left, got a real job. I had a sales job at a chemical sales company for about 2 months, and hated every minute. Yep. Pull up in I'm wearing like a tie. I pull up with dress pants. Pull up in a chop top where the seats aren't even bolted in, slammed, bagged car, and it was pretty obvious I didn't fit in. Yeah. And so I decided to change my life, and I was going to do my passion, which was cars, building things. So I went to Wyotech and got a job at SoCal Speed Shop after that. Okay. Worked for them for a couple of years, trained, apprenticed with a couple of great sheet metal guys. And then a few years later, ended up at Chip Foose's place and was there for about 3 years. All right. So after that, I moved to Atlanta, started my shop.
Well, that was my next question. When did you move to Atlanta, and why this location and all?
My wife's, we were dating at the time. We couldn't find anywhere to live together, and her sister lives here. So my brother-in-law gave me my kind of first little opportunity. He had a friend at a metalworking blacksmithing shop that gave me like a little 600 square feet to set up and work. And my brother-in-law was my first customer, and Felt Bicycles. I built a bicycle for them, so I had two little projects to build. And just kind of been going from there.
All right. The stories from these people with all the talent, man, it's very interesting. That's how he got his skills, sheet metal skills, and you can tell that from the Shogun here. Wow, the piece sitting behind us here is fantastically put together. one of his major projects, and I'm sure that took quite a while to build this thing, but it's a work of art here displayed at Fuller Moto. Tell us a little bit about it, dude. What did that start out as?
That's originally, it's called Shogun, and originally was a 1977 Honda CB550. And, you know, I got the crazy idea to engrave the thing in Japanese art. So we had Totem, who's a world famous graffiti artist, go in and Sharpie on each panel, piece by piece. Wow. It all means the art of metal. And then we would send it to Tay. Tay would hammer and chisel, go in there and engrave it. And so it's basically, you know, at this point it's an art piece. It took 6 years. And 3, you know, classically trained guys in their field who, you know, are kind of in our prime. And I think it's a very special piece, you know.
Sure, man. I'm looking at it going, wow, that's amazing. The rims are engraved, you know, like you wouldn't believe. Unless you see it in person, folks, you're not going to appreciate what went into it. 'Cause I was up here earlier just looking at the detail work in the tank and the rims. And it's fantastic, man. Wow, that's quite a piece.
Yeah, the grips were kind of a cool story. They were wrapped in Japan by a real samurai sword maker. So each little bitty thread was custom wound. It took me 2 years to get the things back. They sat on the shelf for 3 years.
I'm just going, where do you find a samurai sword maker? I mean, where do you even find those guys, man?
I mean, Totem that did the art, you know, he has family over there. He married a Japanese girl, and so I just was like, hey, man, you're going over there. It'd be really cool if we could wrap the grips. You don't know a samurai sword maker over there by chance, do you? Oh, yeah, man, there's one around the corner in our village. I'm like, all right, well, you want to take these grips? I'm like, yeah. So we took them over, and you know, it's not like I could call the guy and go, hey, you know, how's it coming? You know, he took them, and 2 years later they show up.
Well, it's all about dare to be different here at Fuller Moto. There's some really cool projects that I want to get to, Bryan. What do you say we take a little tour through Fuller Moto? Bryan, here's another project you got going on here, buddy. What exactly is this chopped behemoth, man?
Oh, man, I love this car. This is, I started this about when my kid was born, which was 6 years ago, unfortunately.
Wow, 6 years in the making.
Yeah, it's mainly in the sitting is what it's mainly doing. But this is called Public Enemy. And as you see, we put a blown Ford Coyote motor in it and Ford Racing intake, and it's all kind of snaked through the firewall. If you look through the back, it's got custom intakes that go in. And we're getting, you know, we worked on it recently. We're kind of getting all the electronics are getting plotted. We have our American Auto Wire fuse box in there mounted now. The computer is mounted. We've got the Tremec 5-speed is pretty set, you know. So we're making some progress.
Oh yeah, I see. Man, there's a lot to talk about right here in this car. I'm looking at the custom exhaust, man.
2 days
Wow.
and
Yeah.
2 rolls of duct tape
Look
just
at
to
that.
get the thing tacked together.
Man, you got this tornado exhaust just oozing out from under the side of the hood here.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The idea was to kind of make it look like a rolling wave, so that it was like water, you know, kind of like that rolling water look.
Nice.
And we curved this pipe in the back. It's stainless. It's about, man, it's been a long time, but I think it's 5-inch. Yeah. And to try to bend 5-inch stainless is not easy. So what we did was we put a ratchet strap or come along on each side, and then we heated in kind of lines of heat through the backside in order to kind of like get the thing to bow.
Okay.
Then we put a 3-inch diameter inner with the muffler pack, so that's actually a muffler.
Wow. Okay. All right.
And
so if it's baffled off, it's not going to be extremely loud.
it'll be, I mean, it's going to be loud, but not
sure.
like, you know, not like it would if it was wide open, of course. But man, you imagine what that 650 horse is going to sound like coming out of those side pipes.
Yeah, nice. I'd like to get a ride in it before you sell it, man.
Oh, man.
I know you got to pay your bills here, and one day somebody's going to come up with a boatload of cash and go, Bryan, I got to have that.
Something's, you know, you got to sell some of this stuff.
Well,
you know,
sure.
it's
Yeah.
you know, we're in the business of making things and selling them and making another one. So, you know, this one may stay around a while. You never know, but something around here has to leave.
Supercharged. That's a lightweight vehicle for that horsepower, man.
Yeah, it's got a custom bladder in the back, so if you get hit, it won't explode with gas and kill everybody.
All right. That's good.
It has its chop channel. All the frame is custom. It's got a full custom cage, and we did like an angle chop on it back in the Two Guys Garage days. We did that. Me and Bird did that on the show, which was really fun. Yeah.
Wow, it has been in the making for a while.
Oh man, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
It is
All
what it
right.
is.
Ducati. Here we are. Bryan, what's up with the Ducati, man?
This is a flat track copy that we're doing. So we're doing 10 reproductions of the AMA top level flat track team bike that we built. So we did frames for the David Lloyd brothers team.
All right.
Which is, man, these dudes, I mean, they're insane. I mean, they go like 130 miles an hour on dirt and then turn. It is crazy. I mean, this thing weighs, the race bike, which is very similar to this one, it weighs in right at about 315 pounds, and the race bike makes 130 horsepower.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a bit much.
Can you imagine?
That'd be too much for me.
Yeah, me too.
You gotta know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we're making, like I said, we made the frame in-house. We did all the, all the construction is mainly done in-house, and we're selling a limited edition of 10.
Oh, LS power, man! I'm a sucker for the LS stuff.
How can you
wow,
not be?
This is gonna be a wild ride. What is this?
How fast is that going to be?
Man, there's no telling.
This is a supercar creation they call Nighthawk.
Okay.
So it is, like you said, C5 Corvette based, and they've made a tubing superstructure with coilover pushrod suspension. And pretty much the idea is, that you can take an American-built components with a hand-built car and go to the track and piss off the guys with the Ferraris.
Yeah, buddy. Golly, that's nothing but fun there, bud.
Yep. So Warren and Sloan and their crew over at Tie Down Engineering, they've CNC cut and bent all these tubes. It's all been CAD tested, CAD modeled. And then they have a body that we're just starting to put some of the panels. In fact, if you look right behind you, there are some more of the panels that are waiting to be put on have been built. And so we'll start putting on this kind of superstructure. You can kind of see where the design is starting to go. But it's all been wind tunnel modeled. They have one of the wind tunnel programs where they can go in using software, flow everything out, check it out at 200 miles an hour and see what it's doing.
Man. All right, Bryan, what is it going to look like when it's finished, man?
We got to keep some secrets around here. You
Hey,
know what I mean?
I understand.
You can't
Yep.
know exactly.
Understand.
You know exactly what it's going to look like, but
Won't know until it's turned out of the shop.
coming soon.
Yeah, coming soon. All right, what do we have here? Some type of open air roadster. Wow, it's based on the A model, maybe.
Yeah, this was pretty much a scratch build. So there's a gentleman that was south of Atlanta, out in the country, who was a submarine welder in the service.
Okay.
And was a very good fabricator down there. And this was his kind of personal baby. And the family sold it to me, and we just wanted to really see it finished out right. So a buddy of mine bought it. It's got a marine 4-cylinder motor it's over at John Kazi's that's being built.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I'm sorry, it's not in here right now. But yeah, this guy built it. I mean, if you look at the pedals, I mean, just look at the workmanship that this guy did, even just on the pedals and all the bracketry. And these shocks are a pretty interesting story, I think. If you come around to the backside here, so this is a lever fluid shock.
Okay.
And it's adjustable. This was from Indy because, originally, obviously, you had the friction lever shock, right? And then they went to the push rod aircraft shock, which is, like a normal hot rod shock, right? Like a normal linear shock, right? Well, in between was the lever fluid shock.
Wow.
So it's kind of that hybrid between the friction lever and the normal linear shock of today. So it's a pretty cool piece.
And I guess they ride good, evidently, because
I mean, you know,
they're still in use today, you know?
well, I mean, it's this is, you know, it's a buggy sprung hot rod. I mean, at the end, it's not like it's, you know, modern supercar suspension.
Well, for
It's
show,
still an old car.
for show and for the street, this is
It'll be
this is
fun.
gonna wreak fun, you know?
No, it's a blast. I mean, they work
gonna be
fine.
great.
Yeah, for
Well,
an old hot rod, I mean,
Sure.
it works fine.
Yeah.
The car weighs nothing. I mean, look. I mean,
Yeah.
that 4-cylinder doesn't weigh much at all. This
Well-
thing is a hoot.
With 2 people in there, the shocks will probably work just fine.
Yeah, it works great. It's
Mhm.
super fun. So,
Wow. Okay. Man, that's a pretty neat little hot rod.
it's pretty fun. So, well,
All right.
you guys came by.
And over here, the Victory.
This is my little victory.
Mhm.
Hopefully it runs.
Is this what you'll ride home today? Or?
I think it's about that time.
Yeah, it is. All
I'd
right.
love for you to stay, but you know, I got a sick kiddo at home.
That's our cue, dollar bill. So we'll cut out of here and let him victory on down to the house. And
Thanks for coming by.
all right, Brian, you have a good one, buddy. Until next time, we'll see you.